Hello, and welcome to Real Actors, Real Answers, the podcast where you are the star. Today, I want to interview for you and for me Jhovany Vasquez. He is a professional voiceover artist in the Bay Area, San Francisco, California. Jhovany, how are you doing?
Hey, dude, I'm doing great, man. I'm just very grateful to be on here and super excited. Thank you so much.
Cool, absolutely. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and voiceovers, and how did you two meet?
Sure. So originally I was a on-camera and stage actor. So prior to COVID, I would just, go out for commercials, or if there was a play in San Francisco, where I'm from, the Bay Area, I would just go out, audition for it, hopefully get on retainer. Um, And things really slowed down once COVID hit. I mean, we all here in the Bay Area had a standstill, and nobody could get any work whatsoever. Until my agent sent me a audition for voiceover, which I had no kind of equipment, no kind of experience. I could act, I just didn't know anything about voiceover. And I got shortlisted and pinned for that, just using a microphone off my phone. And I had a lot of fun with it, and I saw it as an opportunity to get more income. So I said, you know what, let me really give this a fair shake. Let me jump into this and, get a decent mic and, invest in maybe some moving blankets or something. And from there on, I just started booking things consistently. And that's kind of how my love for this kind of bred, it's just a faster way for me rather than and more opportunity too, because where on camera it's usually very, if you have the look, or if they're looking for a certain, it's not always talent based. As here, I'm behind a microphone, my face doesn't matter, my height doesn't matter, my weight doesn't matter. It's just all about raw talent, and that's the one aspect that I love about it. But that's how I got into this field. Unfortunate circumstances for the world created beautiful opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, it's like giving birth. How do you do this? I don't know, just give birth, you know? Um, so how long you been doing it then?
So since the pandemic, so we're reaching about 3 years now, aren't we? I believe
Yeah,
so.
something
Yeah,
like
just
that. Now it's normal weird. I don't know.
normal. Yeah. I'm definitely, I'm no amateur when it comes to acting for sure, but this, technical side of recording, spatial rate awareness of the microphone, how to deafen a booth, how to make it soundproof and sound treated. That was definitely a learning curve for me. But luckily
Absolutely.
after a while, the skills kind of translate, so you kind of get into the field very well.
Yeah, I understand. Believe me, I do understand. What kind of voiceovers do you lean toward? Because there's
Um,
different kinds.
there very much is, and they're all very different in your approach to them. My bread and butter is definitely commercial work. I don't know why. They just like the techie, geeky, laid back voice that I provide, and it's the one thing that's gotten me in my foot in the door. Where a lot of companies, Hulu has contacted me many times for repeated commercials. Recently, I just did one for the World Cup, if you can believe that or not. And that one was like, a huge milestone, because that one was when I could show my pops. He was very excited. He's like, yes, Mexico might have a chance this year, and then we got booted. um, in terms of like, the most fun I have is definitely video games. Video games kind of is reminiscent to me of stage work. When you get the full costume, you have to really be out there, and your big actions, big voice, just to portray that kind of stuff. And that's my most fun. But I do recognize that my core skills and bread and butter is in commercial work for sure.
How do you find your work?
Through many different avenues. I would say any voice actor getting into it should definitely have a Twitter account, even though I know Twitter can be a poisonous place sometimes. Um, there is a good knit community of good people and great casting and projects, particularly if you want to get into the video game and animation scene. Definitely get one of those. Get in touch with these casting directors and go there, because that's where I get most of my opportunities. For instance, I'm not sure if you're into animations or anything, but Funimation and Crunchyroll, I actually got my foot into the door in those companies from being on Twitter and joining casting calls and rosters. So that's amazing opportunities. Other than that, I am a somewhat fan of pay to play sites. I know it's kind of a bummer that you have to pay in order to audition, but if you have the chops, you kind of rule out a lot of people there because some of them are coming in there, just to test the waters. So if you bring your big abilities and your experience and your forte, just to constantly get the flow of auditions coming in. I don't like it being stagnant. I always like something on my plate that I can attack and get on, right away.
So you have an agent.
Yes, I
What
do.
is
That
what is the
that came.
name? Go
What's
ahead.
that?
Go. What is the agent's name?
Oh, my agent's name is Rosemary Anderson, and she runs the entire voiceover and acting division here in San Francisco for Marla Del Talent.
Oh, wow. Marla, could you repeat that?
Oh yeah, Marla Del Talent.
Marla.
It's acting and modeling agency here in San Francisco.
Okay. How long have you been with them? Was it before pandemic?
Oh yeah, definitely pre-pandemic. It's been at least 6 years that I've been with them for sure. Three of them voiceover exclusive, and three of them, on camera acting, all that kind of stuff.
How did you get into acting? Period.
Uh, you know, I I don't I don't know. That's the thing. I was kind of shoved into it a little bit. In high school, and that's how all the origin stories start, right? High school. My original plan was just to graduate and go sell cars with my older brother, make money, buy a house, all that kind of stuff. But I was kind of a delinquent, so the authorities at there put me into, an extracurricular activity, and acting was like the one punishment, I guess, they would give. Straighten out here, go into the theater class. But I loved it. I loved it. I loved that I nailed my first scene when I got up there. I it was the Odd Couple. Um and I don't know, there was something about that just it resonated with me. I was like, I'm having so much fun here. This is good. So, on my own time, I would go research more things, and I always been a fan of movies and video games and animations. And the fact that I can make this a career, I was just, why not? Let's go for it. But definitely in the beginning of my career, I thought I was going to go more into TV and acting because that's one thing that so I thought, what, why not? Let's get into that. But life took a turn, and now I'm shifted more into voiceover, and I couldn't be happier. Voiceover is fantastic.
So you do video games?
Yes, yes, yes. Actually, recently, if any of you guys are fans of Twitter, like I said, I'm on there, and I just celebrated my victory, being the lead for an action role-playing game called the Spectre Chronicles, which is pretty cool. It's like a dark noir, um, beat 'em up strategy type of game, and the thing I appreciate about that is that it's all comic book. The cinematics are all comic book based, so it's just beautifully hand drawn, dark gothic panels with my voiceover over it, and these guys were so awesome. They trusted me with my lower register, which I hardly get hired for. So it's gritty, and I was like, yes, this is great, fantastic. Um, but yeah, I'm currently looking to also expand my resume and voiceover. I've been in talks with other companies like Team 17, the company behind Brawl Stars as well, just to get my foot in the door in the demo that I have on my website out there in more people's ears, and hopefully, we get some bites on that.
How did you make a demo? A lot of people like voiceovers. Excellent. That's exciting. And say you get an agent, okay? And what's in between? I mean, you need to make a quality demo.
Yes.
How do you go about that? And you submit it to your agent, and then they submit it to your desired roles?
Well, yes, for sure, that's true. Also, you yourself will be submitting your demo to a lot of people, doing marketing, self-marketing. But I would say the process is, start with, you know, some acting training. I would say that first. The one thing you do not want to do is have a demo, which is in definition a demonstration of your skills, and they are just not up to par. It's just fancy music, fancy sound effects, and doing what my friends here call Los Angeles acting, which is, don't you go there. You know what I mean? You definitely don't want that kind of stuff on there. Get some grounded feeling. Theater is a great place for that. A lot of places have community theaters. You can either just sit in the audience and just take it in, or get in there and get your hands dirty and get into a production. Once you feel like you have the fundamentals down, start, going for maybe free projects that are just for representation or exposure. Casting Call Club is one place where there's a bunch of fan projects, or maybe productions that don't give monetary value, but you could put on your reel and you can get experience from that. You can kind of feel out when you're ready for a demo. You'll feel out, hey, maybe I shouldn't be doing these free productions anymore. Hey, I feel like I'm doing better. I feel like I sound good. I feel like I got a good idea on how to act. At that point, then I would get together with any sort of demo production company with the utmost caution, because once again, it kind of has a stigma of predatoriness, where I've seen other actors come, to a big demo production place, whether it's a commercial demo or a video games and animation demo, and it comes out terrible. And that's your calling card. You're submitting that to the biggest agencies. So it is unfortunate that first impressions do matter. So if you send that as your first impression, you're kind of burning your bridges before you make them. I would say the process: get a good set of skills, start auditioning for free stuff, get your experience up. Once you feel confident, then go ahead and go into a demo production company, because it is not cheap to make a demo. Although some of my friends in the VO space are trying to mitigate that by offering their services for at cost. That way you get a nice, for lack of a better word, baby demo that's still good, that can still get your foot in the door and get you into a lot of productions. And it's a good mid space to be at before you make the leap to auditioning to national agencies and whatnot.
Do you know any other voiceover artists? Do you like contact them or keep in touch?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's vital. I have people that I call brothers for sure, from different families and again, it's just from Twitter, knowing them in the scene, or even here in San Francisco, other actor friends that have transitioned into voiceover. And I think that's just vital to you, because, you guys, you keep each other sharp. Especially if you have honest people and not a bunch of yes men. You can give them your auditions and they'll tell you critically what's wrong with it, or where it needs improvement, or if, hey man, this is ready to go, send it off. And celebrating each other's wins and whatnot. When I came out with my latest commercial for the World Cup, which was a big win for me, they all came in drones celebrating me, just like, hey, congratulations, this is well deserved. And that feels good. It's especially in an industry of radio silence. I'm sure that you send it off and you hardly ever hear anything back. So to get, the victory and people acknowledging you and telling you did a great job, it definitely helps. It definitely helps for sure. So I would say keep a close-knit community as well.
Yeah, and be choosy of who you hang out with.
That was a lesson I learned the hard way, when some people would come to me for connections to my agency, and they were just very abrupt, very spiky personalities, if I can put it that way. Very jarring people, and I got put into a lot of hot water that way. So yes, be mindful of the people you carry around, because there are predatory people as well that will just try to use you for whatever you can offer them, and they're off to the next person that they can get something off of.
Right.
Get a good sense of the person before you trust them.
It's like the two thieves in Pinocchio, if you remember that scene.
Yes,
Very,
very
guy
very
thought
well
of what
put.
he knew. Yeah, yeah, and Pinocchio is just innocence. Have you lived in San Francisco like all your life?
Yeah, Bay Area most of my life. Grew up in Oakland, and then when I made the transition to be a thespian, if you will, I decided, let's go to San Francisco. Let's do the whole 5 guys, 1 apartment thing, see what we can do. And now it's just down to 3 guys, and me in my booth. And it's been great. Yeah, Bay Area most of my life for sure.
So you live with your fellow actor friends, correct?
One of them dropped acting, and the other one's a chef.
Okay, hey, it's still an art, culinary arts. You don't have to cook so much.
Exactly. There's still creativity and art into
Um, is this what you do for a living, or do you have a survival job, as they say in New York?
it. You know what? Recently, I did have to take on a survival job, mostly because I'm trying to get married and start a family soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And if it was just for me, I would be able to live off voice. I have for like the last year. That I urge people to do commercial work because commercial work pays the bills. I was able to rack in last year's 60K just off voiceover. That's before taxes, so don't quite.
Yeah,
So,
but still,
but once my priorities changed, let me get a constant income as well.
sure,
Um, and I kind of like that feeling. I know it's kind of burning my candle on both ends. Work here and then work there, but it definitely feels like you're doing something. That it's kind of like that rush people feel in New York, like when they take the subway to work. It's like I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing my voiceover business, growing it, and then I'm also doing a second job. I'm paying my dues.
you're
Um,
creating your life instead of life allowing life to mold you. You're creating something that you really want.
ah, beautifully put. Very beautifully put. Yeah.
Yeah, this is exciting. This sounds wonderful. And also on the business side of it, because
Mhm.
there's show business, you can write off your booth on taxes.
Oh, yeah. I did. When I actually sat down with an accountant and a tax expert, I was surprised at a lot of stuff that you can write off. Pardon me. Internet, for instance, since I use it to connect with clients. Even this meeting right here requires that write off. The booth write off, the new microphone update write off, Source Connect write off. I was surprised my first year when I dipped my whole toes in and didn't have a secondary job. I actually got a refund from the government.
That's
Uh,
amazing. The
so
IRS doesn't need money.
right, right. So that's a tip I would say. Keep your receipts. Make a separate bank account just for your business. It makes it so much easier. I literally just hand them a bank statement, and they give me the good news or bad news. But yeah, definitely
Nice.
keep track of your records.
I'm so curious right now. Who does your taxes? Is someone
Oh, just
private
H&R
or
Block. It's not.
H&R Block does
Yeah.
it? And they do a good job, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's not bad. The reason I get for them, it's always sketchy. I think they have some sort of guarantee that you won't get audited. So that was very.
That's a good idea. Yeah. How long did it take you to set up your booth? I know
Mm,
you made mention that you bought it from somebody.
yeah. Okay. So originally this wasn't what I was using for voiceover. Um, and honestly, you really don't need a big booth to start in voiceover. How I started was with 17 moving blankets, on top of PVC piping. So I created a frame with PVC piping, and then I just started stacking blankets on there over and over again. And on the inside, maybe a little bit of foam that you can see here just to catch some of the sound. And I was working consistently. People didn't have a problem with the sound quality at all. It just got really hot under there after a while. But that's a good alternative. You don't have to have this booth. This is for like once you are established and you want a better ease. It's like moving into the bigger corner office. It's just easier and kind of gives you that feel of professionalism, but you definitely don't need something big like this in order to start. I started from PVC piping with moving blankets. Then I turned a closet into like a little closet that I have here that was mine into my recording booth. So I had to have all my clothes stacked into like see-through drawers. And then finally this came in. I was able to move this into my room of the apartment. And this is just where I do all my work. It's just easier. Open the door, come in, close the door, work out, and it's just a faster process. But in no means do I need this at all.
Yeah, do you ever get claustrophobia?
Surprisingly, no. It's actually quite calming. Especially if you line it up with colors that you like blue. I love it. So I come in here, it's like therapy. I just
Okay.
needed, it's my scream box for what have you, whether it's a video game killing scene or just like, a down to earth commercial. I just love
So
stepping in here.
you're in your own storybook once you close that curtain.
Absolutely. You know, it really is amazing to have a career where you can that's your job, to explore stories and represent them and tell them. It's phenomenal, and I don't take it for granted at all.
What type of editing software do you use?
Oh, that's a good question. When I first started, I used Audacity, which is a free software, and it did everything I needed to, just, reducing the background noise, removing mouth clicks and everything. But I believe they ran into some controversy where in the latest update, they can filter or go through your sessions and recordings. So they'll have a copy of it. And that didn't sit right with me. Even though they may never use it or expose it. Just the fact, have some big clients with NDAs and they have access to it, I just don't feel comfortable that way. So I moved on to Reaper, which is a little bit more complicated, but it has its benefits. Clients look at that, and it's kind of like the whole off-brand and you know, Sepsi compared to Pepsi. They look at that, they're like, "Oh wow, you have the you have the the logo brand,"
That's
and I'm like,
funny.
"Okay, yeah." So it kind of does help in terms of professionalism. Once you get the learning curve, and there are some benefits. Reaper, for instance, when I finish a recording, let's say the lights kill, it'll automatically have a backup of my recording. So once the lights get back on, I can just drag and drop, and it'll be ready to go and record right where I left off.
That sounds very nice
Mhm.
because you are a human. You're not a robot.
No,
No,
that's correct.
you
Yeah,
breathe.
I I don't think I'd be getting much work if I was more robotic for sure.
I see over in the corner,
Mhm.
you have a on the other side, right in front of you,
Oh,
your microphone.
oh yeah.
Is that a mesh, like those round little, mesh
Oh
things that
yeah. Let me see if I can tilt the camera a little bit so you can see it. Yeah, this
there
is
you
just
go.
yeah, it's just a pop filter to make sure that it catches the plosives. Because if I was like, here, you could probably hear that, and it's probably terrible for audio. So it catches your plosives very much. But you honestly don't even need this. Somebody just told me if you make your microphone off access, it won't catch your plosives either. So that's a
Nice.
good for sure. But yeah, I definitely recommend having that. Just especially if you're gonna do narration and commercial work like me, there's no way you can sell KFC with mouth clicks and pops.
No.
It's popping chicken. No way you can.
No, that's very funny. No. Um, you have with this career, you have anonymity. Do you like that?
um,
Where
I
no one knows what you do unless you tell them.
I have to say I do. I do. And it's funny because contrary to that, I loved the exposure I got from on camera. Uh I remember one play in particular when I went to, my theater school. There was like a critic coming in and was like, "Yes, I hope he writes about us. I want to see my name in the paper." But now it's just like a cooler experience to just like, especially with commercial work. You'll be sitting down on the couch and my commercial will come on. And I would just go, wow, that's great. And whoever's with me won't even know. And I still try eventually to get a compliment. It's like, wow, that sounded great, didn't it? Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, no, it was. But did you see what he did there? Like, yeah, okay. But I do appreciate that. It allows me to live, more of a plain Jane type of life where like there's nothing associated with me. It's just my voice. You would never be able to tell my face to the voice either. So I do like that very much.
Nice, and plus, you're gonna be getting married. That leaves you more flexibility of time to actually build a life.
Yeah, that's again one of the things that drew me more into voiceover and to just leave on camera work behind. Not that I wouldn't go back because I love that kind of stuff, but the time I save, I'll give you an example for let's say we had a on-call shoot today, right? So me and you,
Mhm.
we drive from 6 a.m. Well, we got to get there by 6. So we got to wake up at 4. We got to get there at 6. We wait an hour for production to start, makeup, wardrobe, and then we get in there, probably do the first scene in, 4 hours, second scene, 3 hours. And then we do the same thing for the next 3 days. And then totaling that average would be like what, $800 to $1,000. In voiceover, right now, after I get off of this call, I have 7 auditions, each totaling $700 to $1,500. So even if I book one of those 7 jobs, I'm already doing far more revenue and just, in terms of revenue in that small time space compared to, driving out there, gas, um, meetings and connections, all that kind of stuff. It's in my book, more return on your investment of time and, effort as opposed to going on there. Not to say there's nothing beautiful about camera work, because I love it. But for me, it's a numbers game right now, trying to make a family. So it definitely is better for that.
That's excellent. There are seasons in life. Sometimes it's winter, it's a little slow. Sometimes it's fall, it's mixed up. And summer is hot. Spring is like wet and rainy. It's sometimes, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, ultimately, you are the star of your own life.
Hmm.
And you have to make, I'm introducing this person into my life and doing this and this. So I'm going to have to change this or change that. That's creativity. There's one saying from Bob Proctor. He's passed now, but he was a motivational speaker, author, a lot of things. And he said, "Don't achieve your life, create it."
Oh,
And it
wow.
threw me for a minute. It's like, what does that mean? No, we got to achieve. No, if you create something, you enjoy the process.
Yes, absolutely.
It sounds like what you're doing.
I love that. So
Yeah.
good.
Giovanni, if someone wanted to contact you, how would they do that? How would they
Um, you,
find you?
let's see. They can find me on Twitter. Would be a great way to get me. It's at Jhovany, Jhovany VA. Or and on my Twitter, there's also a link to my website, which is made by Card. That's another tip. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can go to a service like Card and get your website for like $5 and demonstrate everything that you got there.
Card. What is that? Could you go into
Okay,
that?
sure. So Card is it's a single page website maker, basically, where it will give you a domain, a web address, and it's basically like your website, although it's just one page. So that's all we need as actors, really, because we just need to showcase our demos, right? Hi, my name's Jhovany. Look forward to working with you. Here are my demos below. Boom. And that's beneficial because you never know who's looking out for you. So that's why I recommend, Twitter and also having a website, because, casting directors aren't going to be like, hey, kid, I want to keep my eye on you and let you know about that. They're going to keep their eye on you in secret and wait for an opportunity to rise. And then if it does, and they have no way to see your previous work or to contact you other than Twitter or anything, that's not a good sign. So if you get to Card, where it can give you that service for like cheap, we're talking about for the year, maybe $10, and you can showcase everything, right? Make it pretty, make it nice with all your information, all your past work, and your demonstration reels. I think that's a win-win for everybody. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
It's going to be
But
valuable when people hear this.
yeah, oh yeah, I encourage everybody to look at that kind of stuff, because it can be intimidating to somebody tell you, hey, make a website. When somebody told me that, I have no idea where to start. Who do I hire some sort of internet guy to make it for me? And it
Yeah,
couldn't be a simpler process. It's just tools of the trade that, people have passed down information for me, and, pay it forward as you will.
absolutely. Now, I originally found you on LinkedIn.
Yes.
What's your name on LinkedIn? Is it just your name or?
It's just my name as well, Jhovany Vasquez. Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Still trying to get better at that one. I'm not as well versed in LinkedIn. But I'm getting better for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
LinkedIn is mostly business. I mean, people are on there not to show their favorite puppy or nothing. They're on there to, really connect. Hey, I heard this. I saw your reel, et cetera, et cetera. Um, this is what I do, back and forth. It's like back in, how old are you?
I am 28.
28. Okay, all right. You might not have heard this, but there's yellow pages, and
I've
then there's
heard Yellow Page. I
then
know
there's
what they are.
there used to be white pages. White pages is business.
Yes,
Yellow
yes.
pages is Facebook now. White pages is LinkedIn. So yeah,
That is the beautiful analogy. I love it. Yeah, no, there's something I guess, for lack of a better, beautiful about that, where you can just, go in there get business done. It's strictly business, and everyone benefits from it, and you move forward. There's nothing nasty or sneaky or slimy about that. I think that's networking at its purest for sure. So definitely
I
trying
like
to
that.
do more.
Never
Yeah.
heard anyone talk about networking, like that. No, it's not nasty or diabolical. It's a way of saying, hello, my name is,
Yeah, exactly. It's like a
you know.
virtual handshake. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Wow, I love that. I'm looking forward to hearing more of your work. I heard some of it on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Fantastic voice. It
Thank
just,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
You
I
practice
was
every day?
What's that?
You practice every day when you're not working?
Yes, every day. That was something I was taught by my original acting coach was, uh I think it was a Kevin Spacey quote or something like that. I can't remember quite well who the actor was that said it, but there's something about getting in there every day and training on your craft, working on your craft and honing it and making sure it's sharp, making sure it can handle whatever comes your way. And I definitely gotten to the point, I've had some big victories like, when I booked my first major national ad for 1800 tequila, I thought, this is it. I don't have to practice anymore. This is just, I'm at my peak. That's what it is. And boy, did I get humbled fast, fast. The next commercial was, I believe, for like AutoZone or something along those lines. And I think I came in there like, hot shot. I don't need a script. I just need to see it once. And yeah, oh boy, I think there was a jingle in the beginning of that commercial. So I just go in there. I didn't even read that part. I just read it regularly, and the casting just goes like, "What's wrong with this guy?" Like, I literally heard it in the Zoom meeting. I was like, "This guy's terrible." Thank you so much for that. So yeah, whether it's just thinking about a scenario and living that out in your head or practicing reading out loud helps a lot too. Do something every day to contribute into your craft. Otherwise, it is a competitive field. So if you're having an off day and the other guy who has the same specs as you, same techie voice, same sultry voice, they'll win it over you. So that's the nature of the business. It is very competitive. So just for your own sake, stay sharp.
I agree. Acting is a humbling experience. You don't think that, on the outset, oh, they just got an Oscar or this award or that award. They must think they're something. Actually, no. Many people, I've heard different people like Johnny Carson, when he was alive, even before he went on set, because he had to interview people, he would
Right.
throw up in a bucket because he would be so nervous because he wanted to have it go really well, you know.
Yeah.
Go figure. We're human, right? Actors are human.
Right.
Actors are people. So
I think that is when you shed that actor mentality and now you are a storyteller. It's no longer about like, oh, I'm gonna stand up here and raise my voice here. It's about staying in the moment and those, like you said, those nerves that he had throwing up, that's beautiful. Keep that, use that, get that humanity in there and make it pop. I love that story. It's wow. I like that.
yeah, definitely. Hey, Jhovany, it's been a privilege and a lot of fun interviewing you today on Real Actors, Real Answers.
Thank you. You know what? This has been, the honor is all mine. Never that I thought I was in the position in my career where somebody would want to interview me and learn from me and ask me questions and whatnot. So thank you. This is definitely the highlight of my week for sure.
Well, thank you very much. And Merry Christmas. And we're going to definitely talk again, okay?
Likewise to you. Happy holidays. And I look forward to it. Hopefully I got better, more announcements for you. And we can just sit down and really discuss more about, the acting side of things and whatnot. Looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you.